Welcome to the Unwanted Matter miniseries. This miniseries was written and narrated by Matt Spear and published with the help of Junior Art Lab. Episode 4, An Alliance, Part 2. Deep in the depth of space, the three remaining hunters are searching for the brothers. After their last attempt to capture them, the master killed Hunter 4 and threatened to do the same to the remaining hunters if they should fail again. Hunter 3 blows his breath and blue dust flies everywhere, manifesting to the rock the brothers touched. The three hunters stare at the dust, hoping to find the brothers. At the abandoned house of Dr. Kango, Mark, Stephen, and Victoria walk through the front door and make their way into the living room, where the rock that the brothers gained their powers from was left. The three of them had spent the last few hours going through condo security camera footage to see if the hunters had any more weaknesses. However, they only found one. If they can cut off the signal the hunters need to make their powers work, then they would be able to defeat them. The three of them walk into the living room. A shiver goes up Mark's spine. Last time they were here, they almost died. Mark picks up the rock and puts it on the table. Any idea how the rock works? Stephen stares at the rock. Well, we know there was an energy inside it, and somehow the hunters knew when the energy was gone. Victoria looks up. What if they could sense the light, like some kinds of blind fish can? Stephen looks up. That would make sense. When Mark and I absorbed the light, the hunters could sense it was gone. So, if we put light inside the rock, then the hunters should be able to sense it and come for us. And that's when we'll trap them, Mark adds. Joy flows through them. They're finally getting somewhere. The only question is, how do we get the light? An idea forms in Mark's head. He can use the flash from his camera. That should be able to create light. Mark quickly tells Stephen his idea. Good thinking, Stephen replies. A surge of pride forms inside Mark. For once, his brother acknowledged that he had a good idea and agreed to do it. Mark quickly takes his bike to his parents' house and comes back with the camera. He then takes the picture and the light flashes into the rock and hovers in the same spot the purple energy was. A smile forms on Mark's face. However, it is also filled with anxiety. They manage to get the rock to work, which means the hunters will soon be coming for them. Blue dust continues to fly throughout the air as the hunters continue watching. Hunter 1 groans in frustration. This is taking way too long. If they do not find the brothers soon, then the master will consume their souls. 3, speed it up. I can't. This is as fast as it goes. Hunter 1 moans. Sadness lingers inside him. When they set out to explore the galaxy, they never thought that this would happen to them. When they set out, they wanted nothing more than an adventure. It had been so long since they went by the names Jill, John, David, and Waldo. It has been so long since they had felt the emotions of joy and happiness. And now that Hunter 4 is gone, things will never be the same. Even if they find the brothers, nothing can bring him back, not even the master. Tears form in Hunter 1's broken and cracked yellow eyes. Hunter 2 perks up. She can sense light inside the rock. Do you feel that energy? Hunter 1 nods. Let's go inspect it. Hunter 1 grabs the other two hunters, and they teleport away. A bright flash of blinding light shines throughout the entire living room of Dr. Kango's house. The light fades away as the hunters walk towards the rock. Hunter 2 inspects the rock. Something's off about it, almost as if it was activated on purpose. Hunter 3 blows his breath on the rock, and blue dust manifests into the brothers and Victoria. Hunter 3 begins to follow the dust as it walks down the hall. Hunter 2 begins to follow, but is stopped by Hunter 1. Something does not seem right about this. Hunter 3 continues to follow the blue dust down into the basement. The blue dust fades away as the basement door slams shut. Hunter 3 turns around. How could he let the brothers trick him this way? Mark and Stephen smile at each other. Together, the two of them slowly and quietly walk into the living room. In there, Hunter 1 and 2 are sitting at a table, silently waiting for the brothers to come. Behind them, Victoria bumps the counter. The hunters turn that way, just as Mark holds his hand at the support beam along the cabinets, causing them to disappear. The cabinets come crashing down on top of the hunters. Hunter 1 grabs Hunter 2 and teleports out of the way, just in time. Victoria runs down the hall and hides in a bedroom, knowing that if anything should go wrong, call 911 immediately. Hunter 1 and 2 reappear by the door, and Mark runs after. Hunter 1 slashes Mark in the face. A rush of pain flows over him as he collapses on the ground. Stephen points his hand towards Hunter 1, and a wall appears on him, pushing him into another room. Mark quickly gets up and runs after him. Stephen grabs a chair from the table and throws it at Hunter 2. Hunter 2 dodges the chair and jumps on top of Stephen. Stephen holds his hands towards Hunter 2, and a new brick lands on her chest. She stumbles back in pain as Stephen slowly gets up. He needs to get her in the basement, otherwise he won't be able to beat her. Mark runs down the hallway and into the room that Hunter 1 fell into. He reaches for the doorway but pauses. Hunter 1 is most likely waiting for him to open it. He has already fallen for this trick twice, but he won't fall for it again. Mark holds his hand at the door. The screws to the door disappear, and Mark kicks it. The door falls on top of Hunter 1. A flash of blinding light shines out, and Hunter 1 is gone. A loud crash of plates comes from the other room. Mark runs over to find a large amount of dust throughout the room. Mark's eyes sting from the dust, and his eyes become watery. The dust is so thick, nothing can be seen through it. The crashing stops as Stephen emerges from the dust. Behind him, another Stephen emerges. Mark's eyes widen. This is not good. Deep in the depth of space, the master lies inside his temple, angrily watching the hunters try and fight the brothers. How could the hunters be so weak to underestimate them? The master continues to watch with disgust Hunter 2's last-ditch effort to succeed. Mark stares at the two Stephens in disbelief. He is very surprised by this. His stomach feels like it has been torn out as the warm sweat drips down his face and stings in his eyes. "Mark, that one's the hunter. I am the real Stephen," one of the Stephen yells. "No, don't listen to him, Mark. I am the real Stephen," the other Stephen yells. Mark takes a step back. He is unsure which one is real. If he makes a mistake and trusts the wrong Stephen, then that will be it for him. There must be a way to figure out which one is real. What would Stephen do if this happened to him? How can he tell which Stephen's real? What is something only the real Stephen would know? Mark begins thinking as fast as he can. What is one thing only the real Stephen would know? When we meant to meet up with the lawyer, who got most of the money from our parents' will? "I did, because I did all the work and you just showed up," one of the Stephens replies with confidence. Mark smiles. Now he knows which Stephen is real. Quickly, he holds his hands onto the ground, just as it disappears beneath the Stephen who responded. He falls down in the basement. That night no one got any money because we never finished the meeting. I stormed out and touched the rock. Mark smiles with the real Stephen. Slowly, the Stephen in the basement shapes back into Hunter 2. Stephen points his hands toward the hole in the ground, and the floor reappears. "Nice thinking, Mark, with the will." From across the house comes a high-pitched scream of a 6-year-old. "That's Billy!" Victoria yells and rushes down the hall towards him. Stephen's heart feels like it is about to stop. Even though he's been afraid this whole fight, a new kind of fear grips at his throat. His son's life is in danger. Without hesitation, Stephen lashes down the hall and into another living room. Stephen's mouth goes dry. He cannot move. He is frozen in fear. Next to him, Victoria standing beside him, pointing a gun at Hunter 1. Hunter 1 is clutching Billy in his arms, with a knife levitated by his telekinesis against Billy's throat. "Give up and fall to your knees now, or your kid will die." Hunter 1 squeezes Billy's head. Billy screams in pain. Stephen runs forward, but is stopped by Victoria. Mark rushes into the room and towards Hunter 1. Hunter 1 pushes him back with his telekinesis. Mark slams against the wall and is knocked unconscious. Victoria fires a gun at Hunter 1. The bullets bounce off of his shiny armor until the gun empties. "Last chance," he warns. "We need to find a way to separate him from Billy." Victoria hesitates. "No, it won't work. Mark and I will surrender ourselves." Hunter 1 digs the knife into Billy's throat. Blood begins to ooze down his neck. "We have a deal," Stephen yells. Hunter 1 slowly approaches them. He grabs Stephen by the scruff of his neck and picks up Mark with his shirt collar. He throws Billy into Victoria's arms. Mark's eyes slowly open as a cold sweat drips down his spine. "What's happening?" "It's over. You lost," Hunter 1 hisses, and with a flash of blinding light, they disappear. What will happen to the brothers when they arrive at the Master? Will they defeat him, or will he consume their souls? Come back next time for the season finale of the Unwanted Matter miniseries to find out. Thank you for listening.